ask questions about complicated subjects like, can you get this done? I hope we can get this done. The honest to God answer is, I don't know whether we can get this done. Is this mic on? I guess, anyway. And I'm not sure either. But anyway, I hope we can get this done. But I'm not sure. But one thing for certain, like every other major civil rights bill that came along, if we missed the first time, we could come back and try it a second time. We missed this time. And the state legislative bodies continue to change the law, not as to who can vote, but who gets to count the vote. Count the vote. It's about election subversion, not just whether or not people get to vote. Who counts the vote? That's what this is about. That's what makes this so different than anything else we've ever done. I don't know that we can get it done, but I know one thing. As long as I have a breath in me, as long as I'm in the White House, as long as I'm engaged at all, I'm going to be fighting to change the way these legislatures have moving. Thank you.
So Joe Biden goes up and says, is this thing on? Reporters ask, how can you get this bill passed? Right? You can't get this bill passed. Joe Manchin and Kristen Sinema just said that they're not going to get rid of the filibuster. So that means that 52% of the Senate, there's 100 senators, so 52% of the Senate, 52 senators say no. So that means you're not going to get rid of this bill. You're not going to get rid of this rule. And then Joe Biden goes, and then I wrote it down and I went back and I re-listened to it because I was like, this is such an important quote from the commander-in-chief, all right? This is such an important quote. Joe Biden says, I'm going to be fighting to change the way these legislatures have moving. That's what Joe Biden said to end his comments. After yelling about it's not who votes, it's who counts the votes. I mean, that sounds pretty fascistic. That sounds pretty scary. Who gave you that little nugget of wisdom? This is like not a normal thing for a president to say. None of this is normal. Don't let them tell you this is normal. None of this is normal. This is the collapse of the Democratic Party. They have so broken themselves. It is so wonderful to see the pain, the searing devastation inside of their eyes. It is unmatched. Joe Biden was on the Hill, of course, begging senators to get rid of one of the very last few non-majoritarian rules in our system. Majoritarian means like if you have, if the other side has 49 and you have 51, then you rule by decree. Getting 60 votes means that the vast majority of the American populace, like federal action in the Senate has to be popular. It needs popular support from the senators. It's a genius. It's actually a genius procedure. And it's wonderful. And I'm in favor of it. I've never been against the filibuster. I've been always for the filibuster. It's very frustrating. But nonetheless, like Joe Biden's insistence that it needs to go away so that he can control all federal elections. Otherwise, Democrats are going to lose all their seats. That's just fascism, guys. It's just evil. It's just evil. It's authoritarianism. It's fascistic. It's trash. And the American public are sick of it. And we're going to win. We're going to win, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to win. And it's just amazing to watch Biden short circuit there. He wasn't the only one short circuiting. Jen Psaki short circuited at the White House also. When asked about Joe Biden's failures, here's what that looked like.
Things just seem like they're going pretty poorly right now for the White House. Build Back Better is being blocked, voting rights is being blocked, diplomatic talks with Russia doesn't seem to have brought us back from the brink of war. Inflation's at a 40-year high. The virus is setting records for infection. So as we kind of hit this one-year period and a period where everything seems like it's in pretty rough shape, or nearly everything, which is not an invitation, I guess, to list off some other things. I'm wondering at what point do you take stock and say that things need to change internally, whether it's your outreach for the Hill, whether it's the leadership within the White House. You seem to be stymied on an incredible number of fronts right now.
Well, let me give you a little bit of a different take on this. More than 200 million people are vaccinated. We've had a record job growth, record low unemployment rates historically in this country over the last year. We've rebuilt our alliances and our relationships around the world. And right now, as it relates to Russia, as you heard our National Security Advisor convey, we're working with partners around the world to convey very clearly. It's up to them to make a choice about what's next. We're not going to make that on their behalf. It's up to them to determine if there are going to be crippling economic sanctions or not, or if they decide to move forward. But we also recognize when you have a small margin and threshold in the Senate, it's very difficult to get things done and to get legislation passed. And the fact that the president, under his leadership, got the American Rescue Plan passed, a bipartisan infrastructure bill with 19 votes in the Senate, about 6 votes in the House, the fact that we are still continuing to work with members to determine the path forward on Build Back Better, that we have the vast majority of Democrats in the Senate supporting voting rights, that's a path forward for us. And our effort is to do hard things, try hard things, and keep at it. So we just don't see it through the same prism.
So the sense is things are going well, there's no need for change right now.
I think that having worked in a White House before, you do hard things in White Houses. You have every challenge at your feet, laid at your feet, whether it's global or domestically. And we could certainly propose legislation to see if people support bunny rabbits and ice cream, but that wouldn't be very rewarding to the American people. So the president's view is we're going to keep pushing for hard things, and we're going to keep pushing the boulders up the hill to get it done.
Thank you for watching. We are 100% independent news. Are you sick of being lied to? We certainly are. That's why we started this channel. But we can't do it without you. We can't keep going without your help. All we ask is that you click like and subscribe and share this video. It's free and it keeps us going. It keeps us growing. And it keeps us getting the truth out there to break the rotted corporate media infrastructure that wants to lie to you every single day, wants to corrupt your narratives, your truth, your story, and your very society. So support us by clicking like, clicking subscribe, and thank you, Patriots.